What's up, fitness fans? Welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast. This is your host, Eric Malzone. This is episode number 30, and I talked to Mark Samuel. So he is the CEO and founder of Fitmark meal prep bags, and his newest venture is I1 Organics. So that's IWON, and they make protein chips for the masses. I think he's really onto something. But the greatest part about this episode is just the feeling of Mark's passion and excitement for everything that he does. He's truly an entrepreneur. He's been doing it since a young age. And I picked up some great subtopics on here. Number one was his 3 steps to starting a new business, just like he did with Fitmark, and going straight to JanSport to do it. He also talked about the importance of customer service and how that really differentiated his bigger business, Fitmark, and the one that he's doing now with I1. I think the guy's going to change the world. I think you're going to be hearing about I1 Organics for a long time, and it's going to go global in a big way. But the biggest part about this was Mark's total and utter commitment to thinking bigger every day, and the passion and the energy that he brings to it. In this episode, there are some connectivity issues, which I apologize for, but actually, no, I don't apologize at all, because this was so good on the first take, there is no way in hell we were going to re-record it. So if you're ever feeling a little de-energized during the day, pick up this episode, listen to it again and again and again. I know I will. So without further ado, this is Mark Samuel, CEO of Fitmark and I1 Organics. All right, everybody, welcome back. Eric Malzone here with the Future of Fitness podcast. And today I have the pleasure of talking to Mark Samuels. And quick background, Mark, you and I used to train together back in the day, about 9-10 years ago at Lane Fitness in San Francisco. And I just remember you just crushing workouts, and me looking up to you. You were my hero at the time. So now I get to interview you, right? Years later, I know you've been a busy cat. So tell everyone about what's a little bit of your kind of background on your fitness story, and then all of the entrepreneurial things you've been working on and what you're doing now.
Cool. You mean when you say crushing it, is that why my lower back hurts now? Why my legs are always hurting? Yeah. Why I basically now can only get in like 1 day of CrossFit per week? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah. I'm not saying we train smart.
Oh, okay, got it. Hard. Got it. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same thing.
Clear delineation. Yeah, we are. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so those were good times, man. So let's see. Yeah, same stuff that I've been doing. When I met you, had a couple businesses that I was doing in San Francisco. Fast forward, probably had a couple more businesses in between those 6, 7, 8 years. And then the last 2 businesses that I have, or what I'm currently working on now, is we have Fitmark. Fitmark is a manufacturer of meal prep bags. We've been doing that for now about 5 years. I mean, that's just it does its own thing at this point. I mean, we still want to innovate a couple new styles every year, but we have a really great direct-to-consumer model. We don't do wholesale. We aren't really interested in the retail environment for that type of business. We just have a really great social following. We manufacture really high quality meal prep bags. So there's not very many of us in the category. So we're slowly but surely going to continue with that business and hopefully allow it to scale in that direct to consumer environment. But we'll see how that plays out over the next few years. And then
how did that evolve? Sorry to hold you up, Mark.
Yeah.
How did that evolve? Was that something that was that your own itch that you scratched when you developed that product? How did you come up with the idea for Fitmark?
Well, it was with the company and the product that I had co-founded and invented prior to Fitmark, which is with another meal prep bag company that's still around. They're still doing really great. It was the other co-founder. He had an idea that involved. Sorry, this thing keeps turning off. I'm just going to keep turning it back on. Okay. There was just the idea. I was watching how I was eating at the time. Actually, it was because we were doing CrossFit. This is early, right? This is 2008, 2009-ish. Eating that certain way with multiple meals per day. And if I were in an office, it was seeing all these types of foods scattered on the desk. And then there was just the idea of how do you manage that food process? How do you manage those meals? How do you create some sort of efficiency for how you're eating? And that was through a bag. And in that particular case, it had an organizational element to the bag with shelving systems and pockets and the like. Remember, meal bags, or what we now call meal prep bags, they've been around forever. I mean, Igloo, being a sort of a cooler bag, or even having a cooler element in terms of a plastic shelled cooler, have been around for a long time. But nobody had pointed that idea towards the health and fitness community and said, okay, we know you want to manage your meals, right? Here is a bag that helps you do that. And by the way, it looks cool. And so those are the elements that were occurring at that time. And then I had later left that company and started Fitmark, doing more of high-end gym and fitness bags. And then it morphed into doing meal prep bags, which is basically about 95% of our business now.
Cool. Yeah, it brings me back, man. I played water polo and swam growing up, so I would they would joke because the water polo players would always have coolers because we'd be up at 5 every morning, right? We would do our 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. workout, then we would go through school, and then we'd stay for a workout after school. So we had to bring our entire, and this would have came in great 30 years ago, man. So
Sure. Yeah, the category, what we're going to do with Fitmark, without necessarily saying what we're going to do next year and the year after, is we have ideas about expanding, right? You do want to, this isn't just about health and fitness or the guy or gal who's into CrossFit or goes to Orange Theory or the like. I mean, meal prepping is a lifestyle, and it can be with those who are looking to get into, starting a diet, maintaining a diet. It could be for families, moms and dads on the go with their kids. And so there's a way to point really great looking bags that offer that sort of functionality, and giving them options, giving them options on, this is what this bag does, this is what this one does. We have a backpack that has a system in it. We have a duffel bag that has a system in it. Because that's what I've done in the last couple of years, and I actually got a patent on it. A patent issued was I invented the idea of having a removable meal prep system within a bag. And so, we've been able to sort of push that into designs that are a little bit more general in theme, backpacks and duffels and tote bags and things like that. So Fitmark is a cool company. We love, the customer service aspect of the business. We have a tremendous reputation, for that, and sort of how we've defined our not just our product, but just the brand in terms of how we treat our customers, how we guarantee the product, how we give back to the community. We're involved. We've donated 15,000 backpacks, to date, to youth organizations. So those are things that we love to do. And so people, I think, could gravitate towards that and really get that feel, and then make their choice on who they want to purchase a meal prep bag from. So we have fun with it.
Is that how you would say that you differentiate your product versus some of the others?
I think so. I mean, when it comes to business like that, like a consumer goods business, you got to be transparent about it. There's multiple options that somebody has, and I say go for it. If you found even my past company, right? Most people are like, well, don't you compete? Sure, we compete. I mean, but it doesn't. I don't care. If you have an affinity to that other brand because of a picture they put up, go for it. The fact of the matter is you have to have a true intent on why you're doing or selling something, right? Our intent is to put meal prep bags out into the market that hopefully people like, right? They like the look, the feel, the quality, and they use it. Why? Because our mission is to help you maintain your health, and or get into a health and fitness lifestyle. I mean, that's what we do. So So I just maintain that sort of mission, stay focused on that, and at the same time, try to offer some really cool products and make sure and reassure the the public that this is what we do. We also give back. We're really into answering your questions. We reply to messages like within like an hour. Like we're that neurotic company. We're like real about this stuff. So hopefully that wins over a customer or thousands of them. But I can't worry about anything else but just that. And then hopefully that results in some success for us.
Have you always been entrepreneurial? Like how long have you been doing business for yourself?
Forever. And this isn't one of those like stories like when I was, Gary Vaynerchuk selling baseball cards. Like there are definitely those stories out there, and some are really true, right? Some are really true. So yes, I have that same exact storyline. I just don't talk about it very much, but it's the fact is that yes, not only did I do that, and that's what I was doing in middle school, selling the little sour candies. I was buying them at the Asian market, and make my mom drive me over there. I'd buy the sour candies for 10 cents. I'd sell them at the lunch for 25. Like that story is real, but whatever, right? The fact is, I had to hurry up and get to adult life here and try to make a real business, and do something bigger and grander that I could focus on and hopefully, make something out of it.
So you've, you're a busy guy. So when you started Fitmark, did you get funding? How did that work? Like, how did you, I'm thinking like, imagine somebody's Mark from 10 years ago is listening right now, right? How did you get started? How did you take your idea, put it into actual concept and then design and all of that?
Had the idea, wrote it down, knew exactly what my next steps would have been, went and looked for somebody with the bag manufacturing experience, navigated myself like this is what I did. JanSport is the largest. Everybody knows who JanSport is.
Sure.
So if I'm sitting there, this is a day one of coming up with this idea. I say to myself, well, if I want to get into the bag business, I need to have somebody with bag business experience. Well, who better to find than through somebody like JanSport? You just have to think as big as possible, right? And to think as big as possible, because the fact of the matter is whatever you think of can actually happen. People just don't execute on it, right? They'd be like, wait, you want me to call and try to get a hold of the CEO of JanSport? Yes, I do. Because in today's environment and 6 years ago, you could figure it out. Is it going to be tough for a second? Probably. But if you sat down and really visualized yourself getting this figured out, you could do it. So fast forward, I did figure it out. I spoke to 2 ex-presidents of JanSport, navigated myself to an ex-employee who had the deep experience that we needed. That was step 2, knowing that somebody was going to come on board that had that experience. Step 3, yes, you need a little bit of money. So if I put up a little bit of my own to start, and then I walked into an office or 2 of some friends who know me and know my stilo, and I tell them I got an idea, give me a check. They told me, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Who the fuck wants to sell bags, right? And then of course they wrote me a check and I walked out of the office. So that's how it started. That's great.
And you touched on a huge topic here, and I'm so guilty of it, of not thinking big enough, right? And sure. Do you have any exercises? Do you ever catch yourself thinking small and be like, no, Mark, go bigger? Is there anything does that game play out in your head at all? Or, cause it does in mine, I'll be honest. I'll be like, oh, you're thinking small. Why not think 100 times bigger? Right.
I think it happens with everybody, no matter what their physical or biological makeup is. As they could be touting the biggest things, right? But for me at least, it's when I'm the most focused. Like even today's a really great example. I can feel my aura today. I am on fire. Like the reason earlier today, I was driving, I was going to close a new account for the snack business. And then I was talking to the sales rep and I was like, give me another name. And I'm not leaving San Francisco until then I dropped off another thing at a gym. I knew I was right there. And I'm like, people better get out of my way today. I'm about to just go and annihilate things today. You want it when you're in those. First off, for me, again, it's when I'm super healthy. Last 4 months, for instance, I haven't had a sip of alcohol. It's like I'm on fire right now, right? And there is nothing that's going to get in my way. And so, for anyone, I think it's when you can feel those moments happening and you feel on fire, go start reaching way deep. Get really deep. Like what you were saying, you're like, sometimes I kind of second guess myself and I'm not sure. Okay, that's okay. Why don't you just wait until that day, right? If this is the only way it can happen, wait until that day you wake up and you jumped out of bed and you were pumped. Take advantage of that and go and do that go do the big experiment, right? Go reach really, really deep. Take that moment of focus and just go deep with it. So that would be a comment there.
Oh, that's great. That's huge, man. And there are days, if you actually take note of it, if you become very aware of the days that you feel solid. And then, the biggest thing too is when you see those days and you recognize those days, how are those days different? How can you recreate that as many possible ways and days as possible? It's just something that you have to be self-aware. So that's great info.
Now, I have one comment on that. You want to comment on that? I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. The big rolling rock, right? When that big ass rolling rock is going down the hill and the momentum is picking up, I'll guarantee you that it's not a coincidence that each and every day seems to be the days that you're on fire. You're like, damn, I was killing it today. Then the next day you're like, damn, I was killing it today. It's not a coincidence. It's the consistency of you having these successes that continue to roll that rock down the hill with its own momentum, and it keeps building and building and building. I use it as an example, and I don't want to bring him up again, but like Gary V, right? They're like, damn, this guy's on fire. He's always talking. You want to know why someone like that is always on fire? Because he's always got stuff in the pipeline. He's always got things going on. He's always got the next success down the road. He always has the next meeting. He's always on a flight. He's always on the it's not and remember he or anybody like him would definitely say that they have losses in the day. He gets the same call from some big brand who's like, I chose to go another route. I'm not using your agency. And you know what he does? The mentality of someone like that? Fuck it. On to the next one. Why? Because he has the luxury of having the next one in 20 minutes anyway, right? When you have so many things in the pipeline, when you have so many irons in the fire, right? Which you better have done for you to even get to that moment that you are starting to see the rock rolling down the hill, right? Then, and you don't give a fuck when somebody says no to your sales call, or no, I don't want this, or no, you can't get that. It's like, next, So that's a 2 minute on that one.
Yeah, that's great. And I listen to a lot of Gary Vee. And I think one of the other things I'll add to that thought, just to talk about this guy, because he is, listen to him. He's highly entertaining. He does fire you up. Every time someone tells him no, that chip on his shoulder just gets a little bit bigger. And then, so he talks about he's mentally, you can't beat him, because if you praise him and you say yes, that's great. Obviously, if you say no, then he just says, yeah, fuck you. That's fine. That's great. I'm just going to work that much harder now.
Yep.
Great insight, Mark. So what are you doing now? Tell me about the new business and how you got involved in that.
So about a couple years ago, I had an idea for the snack business. And the reality is because I wanted to get into a business that would have recurring business, meaning the bag business is tough. And what anybody would say is, when you have a consumer goods product where you only sell it possibly once, maybe twice in a year, maybe you have a new style, maybe they're going to buy a gift, it's a really tough business because you have to acquire a lot of customers and then acquire new ones. So I really wanted to get into a business that had a completely different revenue model, right? And one that I could be just as excited about. And I knew at some stage I'd get into foods. I just didn't know what it was. You still there?
Yep. Keep going.
Oh, good. A savory protein snack. So the bar business was already booming. I mean, you can see it. I mean, go walk into your local grocery store, right? The shelves keep getting wider and wider. Now that's because not only is the consumer market, asking for more of these products, but the way we eat these products is different than most. They're on-the-go snacks. So if you have an affinity to a protein bar or something similar to it, even an energy bar, it could be a Kind bar, you more than likely are buying multiple. So the sales are there's a lot of sales that gets generated there. That's also why you see it. I mean, you follow RX bar that just got sold, and these really great stories, right? There was a void in the savory snack category. I thought it would be a great idea for a protein chip. I had not really seen one. Again, this was right to put some context. It was right before Quest, who had put out their protein chip. I had already started on the idea. And about 2 weeks into me trying to navigate, same thing that I did with the bags. Okay, if I want to get into the snack business, how do I do this? I got to figure this out. They had launched their chips. And I said, oh, man, I missed that one. Because they already had distribution. I mean, their bars were on fire. I mean, they had social media. So it didn't stop me. But it slowed me for a second because I wanted to see what the feedback was going to be. That's what's so great about social media today. You can literally gauge someone's success by going and just reading about them online, especially a company that has a lot of distribution and a lot of social impact, because all of a sudden you'll get people talking. And what had happened was they did not get the best praise. The product was not something people were jumping over, the moon for. So I kept forging ahead, and I said, okay, I'm going to fill that spot. And fast forward, last year we launched it. And what I realized I did was I launched a product that was different than anything else because it was organic certified, it was plant-based, and it was high in protein. I mean, so we had this thing, but what I realized I was trying to do was trying to create a snack that was going to be better than what was not good in the market. It's like that weird scenario. Okay, so I want to be better than the bad product. But what does that actually mean, right? Like, did I want to be? Did I want to have a fantastic taste with high protein, maybe some kind of a lower net carb product that would just be better? And that's what I did. And again, me as a sort of an operator, I'm very transparent, and that's how you got to be with the consumers. It's like, oh man, that was not really my intent. My intent was to have a great tasting chip. And it just so happens it's high in protein. That's what I really wanted. So my first go around, we missed it. We were fast into the market. We got a lot of traction. We got into a lot of great retailers, but the consumer market was basically telling me, these aren't great. Like, they're okay. I get it. Like, it's high in protein. It's better for me than my tortilla chips I like, but they're not that good. I mean, like, come on. That hurts. I mean, like that's how you also know if you really want to do this or any business, like, where it pains you. Like, it physically pains you when a customer or consumer says something negative about your product or brand or whatever. So I went back to the drawing boards, and this is even when people are like, you shouldn't even do it, and like, maybe just cut it. And no, because I wanted to do this. I will years or whatever. There's still nobody has nailed this thing until now. I took 6 months and I reformulated our chips, and we have a cracker now, and they're delicious. They are delicious. And I don't say that as an operator, right? Or our team or whatever it may be. Like, I look to our team and who's building this with us, and this is what we do, and we're passionate. No, this is coming from hundreds and hundreds, probably into the thousands now, of samples that have gone out. And we have a phenomenal product that now has a little less protein and a little more carbohydrates, but it's still a phenomenal tasting tortilla-like chip that has 12 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, and I'm going to take this thing on a rocket ship, dude. I want to build a gigantic brand, all around similar missions than previous businesses. We want to create phenomenal snack products for multiple consumer groups that all have to do with living a healthier lifestyle. So it can be fitness, it can be families, it can be those who have medical issues. They need a little more protein. My kids eat it. I mean, like, this can go wide mass. All while giving back. So we've got we have a program that's involved with, how we're going to be giving back to local youth communities. And so that's what we're doing now. And the reality is, I'm going to be focused probably a majority on the I1 Organics snack business. That's what I'm going to be focused on.
Awesome. Well, that sounds good. It's a great journey, man. And it sounds, obviously your enthusiasm is contagious towards it. How do people, where do people go if they want to try it, or if they want to contact you? Where do you send people?
Right now, the new formulation, because there's still some old stuff out in some retailers that we're slowly but surely sort of, cleaning out. But the new stuff is on our website at i1organics.com or on Amazon. They'll get the new stuff. And then we have the crackers, for instance, already launching next month at a few hundred Vitamin Shop locations. Wegmans out in the East Coast is going to have our new sea salt in January. There's a lot, but for now we focus on Amazon and I1 Organics. And what I would say is, if there are people who are listening to this and they're like, hey, but I wonder if Mark can hook me up. Yes, I'll hook you up. I'll send you a free bag. Email me, like literally email me, which is msamuel@i1organics.com. I will personally send you a free bag.
Awesome. I'll hit you up. I'll do that right now.
Good.
Cool. Well, Mark, you, brother, you got a ton of energy, man. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with before we conclude this?
I think that's it, man. I'm glad to see that you're doing your thing. I listened to one previous. I think you had one with John, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
John.
So did you have one with John Birch?
Yeah, that's right. John Birch. Sorry. I've done a lot of
Good.
This is my 30s. This is my 30s.
I'm sure that, yeah.
Yeah, and the
Hey,
better.
you know John? Hey, do you know John? Yeah, John. So anyway, yeah. Anytime you need anything from me, dude, you know to hit me up. I'll send you a bunch of product for your office too with some of your associates.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure, man. I'm sure you and I will be in touch. And yeah, go find them, guys.
Later, buddy.
Hey, fitness fans, don't leave yet. This is Eric Malzone, your host, and I have an extremely special offer just for you. If you go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, you can claim your complimentary digital marketing audit. Are you a modern fitness professional? Do you have some sort of online presence? Do you have a sneaking suspicion that your website is not performing optimally and therefore costing you money? Well, this is how you start to find out all the details. Just like fitness, you need to start with an honest and objective assessment. So go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, fill out the form, and we will have it to you within 72 hours. It will cover your overall site performance, rank from 0 to 100, how you rank for your chosen keywords, so that's search engine optimization, your website traffic history over the last 6 months, so the ebbs and flows and what worked, what didn't, your website speed, which is highly relevant for people coming to your website and then bouncing off because it's working too slow, your social media presence, competitive analysis, and much, much more. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but this is the starting point for building your online business. So please take advantage of it. We're offering it because we feel it's deeply important to you and the industry overall. And you can claim it by going to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment. Do it today. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. This offer won't last forever. So thank you for listening. Greatly appreciate it. If you ever need to reach me, hit me up, Eric at fitnessmarketingalliance.com, and I'll be talking to you very, very soon.